is Shakti Carola Navran with your weekly power astrological forecast. So I've been an astrologer for 38 years now, and I love astrology. I'm very passionate about. So part of my intention with these forecasts is to give you the bug, to inspire you, to give you an experience with this weekly forecast that there is something happening under the surface of our three-dimensional reality. And if we know about the celestial forces, the planetary principles and frequencies, and how they play out in our individual chart, then we have a much better chance to have a very successful and happy and expressive week ahead of us. Hi Sharon, nice to see you. Woo-hoo-hoo. So so my intention with astrology is to teach you a little bit about astrology. So each week we're going to talk about I'm playing here with my sujilite. Every week we will talk about something different, because every week there's something different emphasized and up in the heavens. And my whole approach is, if you know what's happening and what are the low-end possibilities for you to deal with it and what are the high-end possibilities, then you have truly a choice. So that's what I'm after. I'm also wanting to create this more international overall astrological tribe, because I'm teaching astrology. So there is an astrology teaching program available if you're interested, so you can connect with me about that. And of course I do individual readings with people. And for you to get really the most out of these forecasts I'm doing, you need to have your own chart. You need to know your sun in the sign, in the house, your moon, your ascendant. And then, for example, this week we have this big event of the solar eclipse. So you want to know where that is happening in your chart and what that's triggering and what that brings to the forefront for you, and what high-end choices are available for you. So in case you don't have your chart yet, you can go to my website, mauiastrologyreading.com, and sign up for your newsletter. Then you get access to a program where you can create your own free chart, and you will also get your Venus Lovestone report, which helps you to understand more about your heart and which stone really helps you in your whole inner healing journey around your heart. And we all have healing to do there. So if you just want me to keep you in the loop with all these different forecasts I'm doing, it's also a good idea to sign up for your newsletter. Okay, so my intention for this forecast is not to just give you some astrological Babylonian foreign language. I do some of that, but I also really want to kind of crystallize it into what is really this week about. What can I focus on to make this a better experience? So this week is all about completion of something old. Something has run its course and something new happening. So it's a week where I want you to contemplate a little bit with me about change and how you relate to that. And there are two aspects to change as I see it. So first of all, there is that change we feel is pushed upon us. So we have partners leaving, accidents happening, losing our jobs. So there's things we feel like the victim of, and usually we don't like those changes. We hang on to old realities. We're willing to hang out longer than good for us, often in a bad relationship, a relationship which has run its course, because it's familiar, and we all have that resistance to change. So that's one aspect of change, our resistance, our habituated way to do things, and we don't easily let go of the old, because the thing is that the new is not there yet. But in order to reach to the new, we have to let go of the old. And then there's that gap. So we have to come to a place where we feel comfortable with the gap of the old has run its course, it's not happening anymore, whatever it is. and the new is not quite there. But let's say you have a cup of tea and a pot, and you pour the tea in the cup, and it starts overflowing. So at some point you can't pour new tea in. So you need to empty the cup. You need to make space for something new able to happen in your life. So that's the one aspect of change, that we need to get comfortable with the gap, as I see it. The second aspect of change is that we like to see some changes in our life. We do have some ideas, some inspiration, some visions, some dreams. And there's a place inside of our consciousness where we know what we want and what we don't want. So the whole thing of the law of attraction with Esther Hicks, which I think is actually really wonderful work, is about how we not only have our dreams and visions and our wants for, hi Paul, good. So we not only have our visions where we want to go, but in order to really be able to receive and get closer to that dream and that manifestation, we need to, first of all, to be able to make space for that, but also we need to have a certain frequency. We need to have open arms to receive that newness into our life. So I know I have talked with you, I think 2 weeks ago, about the journaling. I think journaling is a wonderful way to get in contact with unconscious material, what's kind of just ready to pop up into our consciousness. So if you like journaling, this would be a good way to really touch into what beliefs and identities you hold around change and what choices then you're able to come up with. So first of all, I would ask you, what are the changes you like to see in your life overall, not just this week? What beliefs do you hold around that? Do you think it's possible? Do you think you're good enough? Do you have support or people you can ask to help you to get you to where you want to go? So journaling can really get you a lot of clarity around it. So the reason why we looking into all this completion of something old and getting ready for something new is that we have the solar eclipse coming up this week on Thursday, September 1st. And I actually made a whole longer video about that because it's a pretty profound moment in time, start into something new. I mean, we all knew the new moon in itself is already kind of a powerful new start into a new level of evolution in our individual spiral. But the solar eclipse new moon, which is a new moon, is even more powerful because in that moment in time when the solar eclipse is happening, the moon is in front of the sun. So the energy, the frequencies, the magnetic field reaching us from the sun is interrupted. So that's a profound impact onto us here on Earth and our individual consciousness. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but that's why this week is so profound. So a new moon is kind of really in our face to a couple of days around the new moon time, and then it unfolds throughout the months. But the solar eclipse is kind of there unfolding more and more for half a year, I would say. So it really makes sense to pay attention to that beginning. Remember, we talked about that beginning in astrology is that seeding moment of something wanting to evolve out of that potentiality. And in astrology, we look at your birth chart. That is your blueprint. That's your seeds. That's your potential you bring with you into this lifetime. So also as an evolutionary astrologer, I always like to look at the low-end potentiality and how that will fall out in manifestation and the high-end possibilities. So all my teaching in the as a counseling situation or as an astrology teacher or doing these forecasts, is really about enabling you to know the choices available to you. And I'm very sure that when we know the range of possibilities, we always will want to go higher and manifest according to our consciousness, of course. Okay, so let me see. This week we have the solar eclipse. We also have Mercury turning retrograde. We also have moon action as usual. So today the moon is still in Cancer. We'll go into Leo, Virgo, and Libra this week. So we will talk about that when we go to the individual days. We have Sun, Mercury in Virgo, so the Sun takes 1 month to go through one sign. So Virgo is really emphasized, so we have to discuss that a little bit more. And then with the Mercury retrograde, we will have 5 planets in retrograde motion, which kind of means that things are slowing down. We get kind of a review, we get a second chance to go deeper with something. Remember when we talked about pain the other day, that pain in the physical body is kind of a physiological response, but pain in our mental attitude, in our posture, in our filter, how we filter life, that is what we call suffering. And that is where we actually have a lot of power to raise our consciousness, to change the frame in which we're looking at a problem. And problems can never be solved on the level they appear. So in order to be able to solve a problem, we need to go to the meta level. So astrology provides you with that meta level perspective. And I've been doing astrology 38, almost 39 years now. No, actually 39 years, almost 40 years. So I really have a lot of appreciation of that quality and overview and wisdom perspective astrology, and especially evolutionary astrology, can provide us with. Hi Anne, good to see you. Okay, so as you might know, I do most of my work online. So lots of video forecasts out there. I do my readings on Skype. So I live on Maui, so I love to be able, even living so remote on this planet, to connect with people all over the world. I always get a kick out of it. Okay, so today we have Venus conjuncting Jupiter, which is really a beautiful energy. Venus, the goddess of love, Jupiter, the king of the Roman gods. So it's very expressive about our heart, our feelings, our kindness, our love. And when you put Venus and Jupiter together, it's really about generosity and abundance. And it truly helps to start with abundance and focus with gratefulness onto what we already have in our life. So that's kind of the frequency we need to attract more. So it is a day to go out, to celebrate. I'm going later to a party today. So that's the kind of energy. You want to really connect from the heart in a generous way. Venus and Jupiter are looked at the benefactors in astrology, especially mainstream astrology. So everything kind of what's happening today has a little extra lucky, fortunate touch to it. So I think we're going to have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, Sunday, Mercury conjuncts Venus, more Venus action. So Mercury, the messenger of the gods, symbolizes in us the way we think, the way we receive reality. Ultimately, in our birth chart, it's how we find our voice, how we learn, and how we step into our skills to communicate, to really express ourselves more fully. And we all have blockages around our throat chakra. So Mercury conjuncts Venus helps us to really express and communicate from the heart. Venus, the heart, our longing for intimacy, for true connection. So that's what is in the stars for tomorrow, that ability to have a true, sweet, kind, generous connection. So make sure you do something along those lines. Invite those gods and the principles they carry into your life. Then Monday, Moon enters Leo and Venus enters Libra. Okay, more Venus action. And Moon enters Leo. Remember when the Moon shifts sign, it's kind of every 2.5 days. It's an emotional shift. It's an emotional way we perceive the world and filter the world. So that's why the Moon is really quite impactful. Yeah. I'm gonna leave me your comments, and I'm gonna get to that after I'm through the days here. And also people who listen to the material later, you can always leave me comments. I'm gonna look at them every day and get back to you, so I promise. So okay, so Leo is a sign of creative self-expression. Leo is a sign of the king and the queen. So this is a wonderful day to really step onto the stage of life with that dignity and self-confidence that you have something to share, and to add your personal spark of consciousness, of light to the mix. So Moon in Leo is really about finding that point of self-confidence. Then the Venus entering Libra, its own sign, is really very comfortable in its own sign. So it opens us up for more connection to the heart, for wanting to have beauty in our life, for a certain aesthetic. So Venus in Libra is a slower transit than the Moon, so you're going to have access to those beautiful, loving, kind energies throughout the months. So you might want to consider how you surround yourself with beauty in your life. So if you were planning to touch up your home, put a new coat of paint on your walls, this would be a good month to do that, to really actively beautify around you and in your life, and bring that energy consciously to you. And beauty is really something very nurturing, something which makes us happy. I mean, if you have a beautiful picture and you come home from a long day of work and you sit in front of the picture with your evening tea, it does something. It nourishes something in us. So I believe it's really important to have beauty in our life and to be very self-conscious with colors you surround yourself with in your home, but also the colors you wear. So you can tell here I have the sun energy color, and I love my room. That's kind of my sanctuary. So red and gold, these are really important colors for me. Okay, so then we will have Tuesday the 30th, Mercury retrograde. So that's happening in Virgo. It's happening from August 30th to September 22nd. So Mercury retrograde has a bad image. We all had experiences where something didn't flow, the computer keeps crashing, the Outlook program is not working, missing a flight, the flight being late, emails getting lost. So these kind of stuff are governed by Mercury. And with the retrograde, there are often kind of sticks in the way, blockages, things are not flowing as well forward. But the intention of the Mercury retrograde is for you to revisit earlier degrees of the sign, so here in Virgo, and deepen and get a second chance. So Virgo is a sign ruled by Mercury, So it's a very strong retrograde in its own sign. So Virgo is the sign where we pay attention to details, where we are very mentally able to decide and look at things and put things in the right perspective. So whatever projects you have been working on throughout the summer, now is the time to really revisit them, to polish and finish up. And then when the retrograde is over, then you want to go forward. So for me, I have my Master Astrology Academy product launch, and I have early access for people who know me, but the launch will be when the Mercury retrograde is over, because something like that you don't want to do under a Mercury retrograde. It just slows things down. So you can expect the official launch after September 22nd. So in that program, what I'm launching, I'm going to teach the nuts and bolts, the introduction into the way of evolutionary astrology works and how to use it. And you will learn how to read a birth chart. And yeah, I hope you guys are all interested in that. So then Wednesday, the 31st, we have Moon entering Virgo, more Virgo. And then Thursday, the 1st, we have the new moon solar eclipse. So this is really a lot of Virgo activation. And as I already said about the new moon is a new beginning, the solar eclipse is an even stronger one. So I always like to compare it with the restart of the computer. So if something doesn't work on my computer, I sometimes lose my audio, then I just restart the computer and usually it works again, miraculously. So that's kind of what's happening with the solar eclipse. So wherever that is happening in your chart, so make sure you look that up. That is an area where you will have new access to do things different, to bring your life experience, your dreams, your visions onto a new level of experience. So that's why I'm so passionate about astrology, because astrology really gives you that high wisdom, soul perspective, and is so empowering. So if you know where that solar eclipse is happening in your chart, then you can push there. You can make sure you use that energy. Here on Maui, we are all into surfing. Not me, but lots of my friends. So you can ask the child here on Maui, you cannot fight a wave. You have to turn around and surf it. So it's very similar with the celestial energies. They're there. So the waves are in the ocean. No matter what you think about, what you believe, the only way you can do and use it in a good way is you surf the wave. You use that energy. And consciousness is the deciding factor. Your consciousness is the key, how you can unlock those hidden, maybe after today not so hidden anymore, but those underlying frequencies and potentials. Okay, I really recommend you watching the new moon solar eclipse video I made, because I don't want to go too deep into this today, because otherwise we're going to go on forever, and I want to be careful with taking too much time, too long videos. Nobody wants to watch a 1 hour video. So yeah, have a look. I'm going to put the link down there in a comment. Okay, Friday, Moon conjuncts Mercury and Jupiter. So Moon, Mercury conjunction, Mercury is the way we think, our awareness will deepen with the connection with the moon, symbolizing our inner world, our own individual consciousness and our subconsciousness, our collective field we tap in. And Jupiter really, again, wants us to expand, wants us to open, wants us to push out of our comfort zone. So with Mercury in the game, you will be aware where that wants to happen in your life. So again, Friday, a wonderful day to become more self-conscious, to develop that witnessing function, to know what's going on in there. And the moon entering Libra, remember we had already Venus entering Libra this week. Strong emphasis on the heart, on love and connection and friendship. So it's a very interconnecting week we're facing. And then Saturday the 3rd, Moon conjuncts Venus. So both feminine symbols, Moon, the mother, the divine mothering spirit, how we receive nurturing, what we need in order to feel safe, our connection to our unconsciousness, teams up with Venus, the goddess of love, harmony and beauty. So that is a day to really celebrate the love and connection and friendship you have in your life. So you could throw a party or go out and do something, but it's not a day you want to stay alone at home. That would be a missed chance. So make sure you go out and really open your heart to experience something beautiful. Sunday the 4th, next week. So next week we're going to do the weekly forecast on Sunday again. I would like to keep it on Sunday. I think it's a better day. But once in a while I have something else going on. So tomorrow I have this blessing I want to go to and support a friend of mine. So that's why we're doing the forecast today. So Moon opposing Uranus squaring Pluto. So that's happening next Sunday, and that's kind of more of a big bang. It's more of a challenge. Uranus, the god of lightning and sudden changes, squaring with Pluto, the god of the underworld, of death and rebirth, of the hell realms. So there's a lot of punch, a lot of energy coming at us. And we have to receive them emotionally with the moon. So that means we might be more reactive, more extreme in our reaction, more up and down. So that is definitely a day where we do need to step into our witnessing function. So we not just somebody pushes a button and we just spout out and react to something, but that we have a choice. So that is next Sunday. Okay, you always ask me about the gemstone I would recommend for the week. So this week I came prepared. So one gemstone I'm suggesting, which is a pure Virgo stone, is citrine. You might not see it as well. It's a light yellow compared to a normal crystal. Let me grab one here so you can see the color difference. So this is, you see, it's just a light yellow there. Okay, so the light yellow shows you that it's not a treated citrine. So when you want to work with a citrine, you don't want this dark brown yellow, because they're treated and they're just not as pure and good in their energy. So you want to have the light colored. So this one is really special because it's a double terminator. I love double terminators because they are extra powerful gemstones of their kind, because they have the plus and a minus pole, and they bring it together in one perfectly aligned crystal structure. So this is a stone actually I hold when I do my astrology readings, and it helps me to focus. It helps me to balance and be mindful and really conscious, and be able to concentrate and pull in the highest thoughts of the angels and guides of the person I'm working with. So I really love that stone. It would also be a stone to lie down on your chakras. Would be a wonderful stone for the second chakra and the third chakra. The third chakra is a power chakra. So that's kind of the energy the citrine can connect us with, the energy of creativity, of self-worth. It's an anti-anxiety stone. It helps us to get into a good mood. So also it's a stone of abundance and concentrations, and helps us to go beyond our anxiety and fears. And I mean, we all live in a time where so much going on out there we cannot control. And of course, it's anxiety causing to some extent. And it's not just our individual anxiety, but it's really what's happening in the collective field. And we are also connected nowadays with Twitter and internet, and so we know what's happening everywhere in the world. And I do believe it adds to that level of anxiety. So we need to find individual ways how to balance ourselves. So citrine is a wonderful stone. Yeah, and I recommend citrine because it's a sun and Mercury stone. So sun stepping into that creativity, Mercury really getting into that higher wisdom perspective. Okay, so that is kind of what I wanted to cover today. If you would, please like my video under there and do leave me your comments. I would love to hear back from you. It's really important for me to have this connection, because otherwise I'm just talking into this empty screen. So this is wonderful. You showed up here with me for today. I love it. And if you give me your hearts and your thumbs up, that would be really appreciated. Okay, so let's see if there are any things I haven't covered. You got a serious shift this week coming, Paul. Yeah, and you are kind of in alignment with that, with the energies of the solar eclipse we talked about. So even without knowing more specifics, I think you're ready to let go of some old kind of structures, habituated way of doing things. And whatever you start this week, I mean, it depends on how it plays out in your chart. But the general idea is whatever you start this week will have that energy of new beginnings, that breakthrough energy. So yeah, use that. I think there's a lot of potential there for you to make it a go, to get closer to your dreams and visions. Okay, Sharon. Yeah, so I love citrine, but really make sure you get the light colored one and not the treated one. There are only heat treated, so they're better than radiation or something. So if you can't get a nice one like that, you can start out with a heated one, but I always prefer the real deal. So the least we have done with them, so more they really carry the alchemical power they bring in. I mean, really imagine how the gemstones are formed in the inner of the earth under great heat and pressure, and then they come out in this light, beautiful color and light reflection in this perfect crystallization. So that's why gemstones really can help us balance our own physical energy field. And as you might know, I do the gemstone profile where I give you one true birthstone for each of your planets in your chart. So you can use gemstones to balance challenging aspects in your chart. For example, I would recommend a citrine if you have Sun Mercury conjunction in Virgo. That would be a perfect stone to bring that energy more out. And then if you have, like, let's say, a Saturn opposition to that, there are challenges around it, so citrine would help you to bring it more into the flow, into the expression. So yeah, I love to work with gemstones because it's one step to consciously use them as an anchor for certain areas and challenges in your life. So as an astrologer, I will always want to find something to support and ease the process for my clients. So gemstones are a wonderful way because first of all, they have their own frequency to begin with, and that frequency brought into our energy field does something specific. And then they become an anchor for certain goal or intent we're holding. So in neurolinguistic programming, which you might know I'm a practitioner in, what we do, we talk about anchors. We talk about that we can set a certain anchor in a certain high emotional, resourced expression, and then we can just fire that anchor again at a later place in time. So gemstones are wonderful to use for that. And I always fiddle with gemstones. So this is my reading stone. This is my forecast stone. This is actually sugilite, which opens the crown chakra, but then helps us to bring it into the material world, the information. So I just love gemstones. Okay, so no, I don't sell gemstones on my website. The only thing I'm doing is I have these little glass pendants with crystals in them. Let me show you. This is like a big one, and there are many more smaller ones. So it's kind of this air bubble, and then we put the gemstones in there. I have an artist who does this work, and I really like it because it's really not so high in price. You don't have to have gold or silver or a lot of work in it. So that's a wonderful way to connect and wear a gemstone in your energy field. But other than that, I don't sell gemstones anymore. So you would have to Google and go out and do your own research. But I do the gemstone profile, so that gives you a start with which gemstones you really want to start out, because these are really your 14 main healing true birthstones based on your horoscope, your natal chart. Okay, all right. Paul, is that a question or just a comment? Okay. Anyway, if you guys don't have any more questions, then I think we wrap it up here today. I always love to hear back from you. Keep commenting, keep connecting, and I just wish you a wonderful week. So I'm looking forward to see you around on my Facebook page or wherever, and next week on Sunday again. All right, my dears, all the best to you, and aloha from Maui, and many blessings.